Hello and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons. And unfortunately, the one thing we cannot transcend is uh, work issues, health issues, and our brains wanting to scream and never stop, which is why we're missing one of the bards today. Uh, but we'll work this through. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie have been uh, they enjoyed a week's worth of holiday from the various bits of nonsense they've been putting up with, and are now heading on actual questing things because, among other things, they need more than one weapon that is capable of killing a god, which is all kinds of fun, and they're going to have to be all kinds of places to pick up the materials to do that because as good as a steel singer is, they're only good enough to manage working with the materials. They can't just make this shit out of nothing. So y'all are on damn near Monster Hunter, Wilds World, whatever quests for Jenna. And the first thing you are getting is Living Flame from somewhere in the depths of Cragvir. Of course, first you have to get to Cragvir, and you were let know in no uncertain terms before you set out that you can be got to the border, but there are problems. There's something very much policing the borders of Cragvir, and they're leaving occasional baskets of viscera, which is never good, according to some of the individuals who deliver like supplies and things to the little mining villages in the underground parts of Eun-Bac. There's also been some incursions past the borders, but they haven't been sending scouts out so much because, well, Viola doesn't want to send scouts out to die. But you're adventurers, you're fine, probably.
And expendable.
Uh, excuse me. Anyway, you got a ride with a supply train of sorts. Excuse me. Sorry. Blech. And wound up at what should be a mining village, complete with inn. The inn, which is made of stone, is the only building remotely still standing. There are claw marks, scorch marks, and the less stable buildings have been trampled into the ground. And at the end of last session, you were approaching the inn to see if anyone was still, well, no pun intended, in it. How are you approaching?
Cautiously.
Mm,
Okay.
I
keeping
guess
an eye on your
as
surroundings.
Now, things seem quiet for the moment, anyway.
Does it sound like a peaceful quiet or suspiciously quiet?
It's hard to tell underground. You haven't spent enough time underground to know what peaceful
Fair enough.
quiet would sound like. To be fair, it probably sounds suspiciously quiet to you just because you're used to
Mm.
like birdsong.
Right.
And then you remember, no, wait, this is a cave.
Underground. This makes sense. Okay. Fair enough.
So yes, you approach the inn. Nothing is moving as far as you can tell because the shutters are shut. So is the door. And they've pretty much been designed not to let light leak out because, of course, cloakers. They don't really want to
so
attract
who's
attention.
so who's gonna knock?
Alice say just bang, 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 bang. I promise we are not going to eat you. Door opens just a crack.
Hello.
Adventurers?
Yeah.
Now?
Yes. Now.
Get in here. Does not open the door very much wider. Does let some light in, but Barnabas is going to have to scrunch sideways. I mean, frankly, so is Alice, because the wings are in the way, but.
Meh. Story of his life.
Little squeaks.
And yeah, you've got. It was probably a nice little inn, and on a level it still is. It's just been set up more like a refugee building than anything else. There's not that many people, maybe like 10 that you can see in the main room. Excuse me. I swear, if I'm getting a cold, I'm going to be so pissed. Anyway, the person who let you in is human, on the older side of middle aged, uh, wearing a lot of bandage. Everybody else is either on the older or the younger end of the scale. Like, this is where miners' families lived. And they're not looking too good either, put it that way. There is slightly younger than the guy who let you in gentleman at a stew pot going, "How many more are we feeding?" "Looks like 8 or 9." "Oh, for pity's sake, we have supplies. We have a lot of supplies. If you don't mind me drawing on one of your walls, we can keep you guys stocked up for a good while." "Excuse the hell out of me?" You guys are not gonna let me do all the talking. I'm gonna go like draw a door.
Yep. We'll explain his question. Well,
Darvin, come on, help me haul things. Ooh.
we're probably the weird kind of adventurers because we have in what may as well be an entire warehouse's worth of supplies that just
Is
follows
that
us.
is that kind of non-weird adventuring party?
The normal kind that I kept hearing about were the ones that were eternally broke.
Everybody in that room looks at Hazel. One of the older ones goes, "This one's from Baronsveer.
Uh-oh.
Adventurers in Equitas make good money."
Well, I've learned that since, but
"It just means," the guy at the stew pot, "it just means, sweetheart, that what you think of as normal adventurers isn't normal."
point taken.
"Yeah, we're not getting at you. We're just educating gently. We've just had a bit of a rough one recently."
Yeah,
Can you
we
tell us what
saw on the
happened?
way in.
"Well, you're gonna have to ask Pete about that one because he insists I stay in. You're the only one who knows how to cook. Okay, not the only one who knows how to cook, but close. To be fair, we didn't really see it. There's a lot of human here, and we don't see all that well in the dark. Whatever it was, sure as hell wasn't cloakers. And what night vision we have got kind of fucked with when it started breathing fire. We weren't looking so much because we were trying to herd everybody into the one building that doesn't burn.
Hmm.
We've been having issues lately, but they didn't involve things trying to literally eat the inn.
Big enough to. Yeesh.
And Shreya's, you were the one who mentioned the tooth marks.
Yeah, I know. It's just
You're still getting your head around it like it tried to get its mouth around this. I understand. Fine.
something like that. Yeah, it's like the biggest stuff we've seen has been enough to. It's been usually been big enough to like impact and bite at a building, but not consume the whole thing in one go.
Well, I mean, it obviously couldn't because it couldn't crunch, but it tried pretty well.
You didn't
So
happen to
you're
get a look at it to be able to tell whether or not it had wings, did you?
We mostly saw fire and the occasional bunch of teeth.
That's
it
fair.
was just one
Figured I'd
monster.
ask, just in case.
As far as we know, um, I mean, we didn't get a whole lot of look at it.
Hmm.
Understandable.
Little
That would have been a big risk.
little piping voice from up in a corner was like, I probably saw more of it.
Oh,
This girl reminds you so much of Skylar, down to the half elf. It's just her hair and skin are quite dark, so it's sort of.
hi.
It didn't get all of its body in. It managed a couple of its claws, but you couldn't see much of it because it didn't. It wasn't solid until it was.
Oh boy.
Could it be one of the um
That's something we recognize. We've encountered stuff like that before.
mm-hmm. Certainly sounds familiar.
We're actually headed through here on the way to Cragbeer to get something from there, and well, seems like we're back in alarmingly familiar territory with things that act like a liquid until they're no longer acting like a liquid.
No, 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 no. Liquid is still there.
I was gonna say, it
Yeah,
sounds more like
Ah,
it can do a transparency more than it
Rylan.
stops being a solid.
Rylan in specific. Fuck's sake, give me an intelligence check. It will not take much. It takes more than that. Fuck. I'm gonna roll this for
Oh
sure.
no.
Yeah, that's better. um, uh, right. If liquid is there when, even when it's not very visible, so it wasn't like that. It was more like shadows. Uh huh.
oh balls.
Shadows or something
Hmm.
spiritual, but and you were saying something about the dragons that you killed and something of them left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, had a tendency to resolve into. I mean, for most of the versions we were running into was a. The reason I say liquid is because it was kind of a fluid seeming shadow.
Yes, but you did mention how when it was dead, something flew away to the north. And that was more of a
Mm-hmm.
shadowish kind of a situation. That's the
Just a
impression I received, anyway.
yeah, a giant mass of nope.
So,
Probably
like,
ethereal on a certain level.
like, icky shadow ghost things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gross.
Alice
Shadow,
leans back
ghosty.
out.
Yikes.
How is everybody on fish? We have so much fish. We don't generally get fish down here. Great!
Well, now you're getting a bunch. Wait, was that the ones that were like, and I'm just
Massive.
gesturing in a
Yep,
vague size
probably.
comparison?
I mean, I'm gonna fillet them first.
You need an extra set of hands on that, because
I've got a Darwin.
fair enough.
You can help next time. I know you want to learn, but there are hurt people there. How are you leaving the hurt people?
Wasn't doing that. Wasn't doing that. Any rate,
Are there any other survivors nearby?
that's the words I was looking for.
Uh, the guy who let you in, Peter, apparently is. No, we've got some of us in the cold pantry. Put it that way. Apparently, trying to be gentle for the little ones, because there are like 4 or 5 kids in various ages. But the tiny one, you'd think somebody that tiny would be with parents, and oh dear.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna start like at least checking everybody, even if it's at a distance and one medical once over.
I mean,
Once
people kind of heard them. They heard Hazel towards kids first of all. Nobody that you can tell seems to have been tainted by anything. Um, you will be making pretty good use of your medicine kit, because
It's
probably
just bandages, other miscellaneous bits and bobs.
it's a lot of it is going to be cleaning wounds as well, because while there's no taint, there's bits of rock, various
General
bits of
grody.
dust, yeah, and you don't know where those claws have been, so it's better just to you've got whole bunches of antiseptic goos, so you're fine. A couple you probably
Yep.
have to do the stitching, and finally understanding why Lyra taught you to sew a little bit.
But Ava, come here. I need you to hold this.
Meanwhile, Alice A is coming out with. She manages to get sort of a wagon right up to the door and goes, "Does somebody want to help haul some bits of this to the kitchen? Because I can't take the wagon out."
I'll do it.
You can. The stronger of you can probably do a kind of a bucket brigade of
Armloads of fish slab.
fish slab and a lot of the vegetables. Because Alice is like, I know how hard it is to get vegetables above ground here. I don't figure below ground is gonna have it any easier.
Yeah.
The guy,
Down
the
here,
guy at the
mushrooms, 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 and mushrooms.
yeah, the guy at the stew pot is going. If I were that way inclined, I would kiss you right now. Uh, wife. Well, you get the general idea anyway. Yeah. Do you want help cutting any of this? I mean, if you don't mind. Believe me, people will probably be more likely to be talking to you once they've had wounds tended and some good food in their bellies.
I'll help with the slicing. I'm not so good at the hauling.
Uh, Sorry, but I'm gonna have to turn your. What is your user volume is surprisingly low. There we go. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said, um, I can help with the cutting. I not so great at the hauling.
Yeah, the cutting is probably going to take more strength than you'd think because these are
Big
chunks.
ass.
How are you on peeling and chopping of vegetables?
That's kind of what I meant
Ah, okay.
about the vegetables.
Sorry, it's just the chopping was kind of vague. So, I mean, it pulls a cleaver. I'm gonna be using this. Chomp. The little half elf was kind of following Hazel around and just watching.
And I'm going. And if I'm being if I'm getting Velcro Kid, I'm going to start, I guess, imparting medical knowledge in as much as demonstration as I can.
And she's just sort of watching, nodding occasionally. Then kind of looks at Ava, holding things shut, looking at hands, and going, "I gotta wash these." Pat, 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 pat. Comes back and I can do that.
Huzzah!
Eventually, there's food, there's calmer people. Although you guys are still getting the look of, we have adventurers. The world's been weird enough, and now we have adventurers. So, okay, let me start with the questions. Where did the thing come from? Behind. Who
I
wants to come?
sorry.
Who wants to come with me to have a look out there?
Alright.
We
Let me take
shouldn't.
a
We
Now
shouldn't
that
have
everyone's
too.
patched, yeah.
We shouldn't have too many. Because it's really gonna be a quick peek. But I'm gonna want the
Mm.
people who can see in the dark.
Ah, yeah, that's me out then.
Okay, Ryland and Clarity. No, you stay.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should
Yep.
stay here for the.
That's why I'm thumbs upping. If it's those two, go nuts.
Okay, you go out, and it's deeper than it looked when you went out. But for something that size, you wouldn't think that something with a mouth that could crunch a building would fit through what would just about comfortably fit Barnabas. Okay, how much further in here do you guys want to go?
Should at least take a little bit of a look further.
Okay, I know y'all are gonna look at me and do not tell Ree I did this, but I'm going first. Actually, no, you may as well tell Ree. She would have assumed anyway. Okay, stepping in. Make me a perception check.
Hmm.
Yeah, the entryway you just entered and this whole bit of tunnel is too regular to be naturally formed. This was either magicked or probably not, because it would take a very long time to be carved by people. So it was probably mold earth shaped. It certainly isn't a natural rock formation.
Probably
you
magic
both also get.
then.
I was about to ask if either of you had gotten the same impression.
Me, not so much, but half the time I'm not entirely sure what magic can and cannot do. I'm also mostly have been looking for cloakers. Probably a little too narrow for them, but you keep an eye anyway. Those fuckers are now staked.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. keep
A
going?
little too narrow for something that large, too.
Yeah, but if it was something shadowy, spectral,
Yeah,
You
it
could maybe
might
fit
be,
into something smaller.
or might not need walls at all.
but if it didn't need walls at all, why is this here? No, I mean it's a good thought because things like that, even ooze like the soul taint, only needs a crack of like that. This is for a person.
Something controlling it, maybe.
Or someone who wants to come in and finish the job. I mean, when they were saying baskets of viscera. So yeah, I guess we keep going
Yeah,
Yep.
onward.
quietly. Stealth, please.
Mhm.
Yeah, and even the one with the wings manages fucking stealth. Dope monk shit. Also, dope bard shit, you know. Jack of all trades is helpful at this time. And you keep going for a little while. There's some twisty and turny to the point where, given that none of you have keen mind, you've got no idea exactly which direction you're in. You're heading in a fairly short amount of time. But after about 5 minutes, Alce kind of holds up a hand and draws a wing in as close as possible so you can kind of peer around. You've come to the end of this tunnel, and it opens out into a much larger cavern that goes deep as well as far and wide. There's some handholds you'll notice at the edge where somebody can, or lots of somebodies can climb up. There aren't tents exactly. There aren't exactly what you'd call people either. People implies something alive. What you have is, well, corpses. Except they're terribly, standing up under their own power for actual corpses. And the baskets of viscera that Demille was receiving, they're probably where those baskets came from because they're missing whole big bits, but it's basically a zombie horde. And it's just waiting,
Oh,
apparently.
They're not moving.
No, they're standing in like neither of you would recognize an army regiment. Neither of you worked with that sort of thing, but you're just seeing them standing in surprisingly even lines.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
that was whatever that is. It is a bad sign.
How sensible are we going to be today? All I say is looking around and going, what magics does everybody have?
Not a lot anymore.
Because I'm thinking this was dug out probably by magic, but the roof of that still looks pretty untouched. I'm wondering how much of a thunder wave I'd have to throw to collapse this on top of them. They're not going anywhere if they're pancaked.
Very good point.
I don't have anything for pancaking.
Well, I've got a fair bit of thunder wave and shatter. And I haven't cast anything in a while.
I've got a couple of things, but nothing on the level of bring the ceiling down.
Probably just as well. I mean, if you had anything that broke something, that would be anything. But beyond, I mean, at the very least, you can get clarity out fairly quickly if needs be.
That
Because
would be that would,
just without even without magic, I'm faster than the rest of you. But I can
mhm.
also point a little bit still. Of course, there is another option.
What are you thinking?
It takes a lot of oomph to raise that much undead. Unless you're using some kind of a focus, a relic, something. If there is something, I can dispel magic. But I know I'm not stealthy enough to be wandering around that kind of place and not be seen. Clarity, you are, and would be able to recognize a focus like that just because of your studies. If you can't find anything, you two start heading back as quickly as possible, and I bring this place down on them. If you do, distraction, gambit, I dispel magic, and then you two are ported out, and I bring the ceiling down on the rest of this. Because either way, we don't want any of this still standing, because this is gross.
No, no, we don't.
So, here's a question: do I still have?
And I can make
Puts a
sneaking around real easy for us.
puts a hand on Clarity's shoulder, just in case you run into anything that might slow you down. Freedom of movement. Because, I mean, I don't actually have enhanced ability, but stealth wouldn't need it for you anyway. So, roll me stealth.
Can do. Ugh, not good for me.
You'll have another chance because it makes sense that it wasn't as good this time because the first thing you have to do, you in your green armored, blue haired glory, is climb down that cliff. I am not going to make you roll an athletics check because apparently that was made so that undead can climb it. You're better than undead. You get down to the bottom and you can manage just about to duck behind a bit of rock. And make me a perception check.
15.
You do. They're not really trying to There are footsteps. One set. Not large, but heavy, if you see what I mean. It's somebody with a relatively heavy tread. Regular humanoid feet. Which, yes, is important given some of the enemies you guys have facing. And you hear it walk right past your bit of rock that you're hiding behind. Meanwhile, Alice is kind of pushing Rylan back, so when that individual turns out to be a remarkably large dwarf, still dwarf height, but built. But yeah, Alice has pushed Rylan back, so when he looks up, all he sees is Cliff still there, Cave still there, and trudges away. You hear the direction
This
he's going in.
This one is living,
Yeah, this one apparently
or
is alive, because the undead still aren't moving, but this one is. Thankfully, nothing you can see on him suggests that he's carrying any kind of focus of that type. Or, relic or charm or whatever. So if he wanted to wake up the undead, he'd have to get to wherever the whatever commands them is, because this is not a necromancer by any means. This is. You vaguely remember Carter, uh, Remy's old captain, and Barnabas's old captain. He's like that, but before the getting involved too much with tainted relics. He's a mercenary captain. He really doesn't want to be here, but he knows it will be worse if he doesn't do his goddamn job. But thankfully he's not prepared for you. I'm assuming you wait until you cannot hear footsteps anymore. Cross your fingers,
yes.
hope like hell, and make me another stealth check.
Okay.
That's better.
On both levels, that's better. Yeah, you manage to more or less keep to his blind spots, because if there's a living person here, he's got to have a camp or a tent or something. And yeah, he does a patrol. He's apparently quite happy to go into. It's not even a tent so much as it is a lean-to, and you didn't really notice it past rows upon rows of undead. But there's a table, sort of a folding table, folding chair. The ugliest goddamn statue in existence, and if anything is going to be a focus for commanding the undead, it's that. And on the other side of the chair, a barrel, which he taps, fills a cup with something that smells incredibly strongly alcoholic, and basically starts drinking. This is not a man who wants to be doing this fucking job, but apparently he's getting paid well enough to be able to put up with this bullshit, or he's too scared not to. You don't know which, you don't really care. I don't think you really care anyway. I mean, if you want to roll an insight, by all means, but
What can you do? I see what the statue looks like beyond just very ugly?
It's either it's a dark either wood or stone. You're not really sure which unless you get close. And the only other thing you get of it is something with way too many limbs, probably. But it's not very large. It's like, yay. So if there's any carvings or words or any language on it, you'd have to get significantly close.
Does he look like he's going to be like chilling for a while?
It looks like he's going to be there until either he needs to um, make another walkthrough, he gets orders, or he passes out.
um, I'm gonna back away to where I was before and where I had hid from him when he was passing.
Yeah, that's way back at the bottom of the handholds.
Okay. Well, can I back away, and is there any sort of place where I have a little bit of
There's
cover?
reason with that stealth. There's reasonable cover as long as you're not making a whole lot of noise.
Okay. Um, is there anything else around besides lean-tos and
No, there is a lean-to, the
mhm,
dwarf, and a whole lot of undead and some rocks. That's pretty much it.
okay. Um, I'm going to head back to Alice
Yeah,
and
I'll let you keep that roll because you can climb relatively quickly and you know where he is for the moment. So, and when you get back up, Alice kind of helps you up the last little bit and going, I'm going to tell this to Rhea and Barnabas, and they're going to talk about the lack of professionalism of that asshole. So, what's up?
um, so that lean-to there's a dwarf, and he's in there drinking, and smells pretty strong. There's a very ugly, multi-limbed statue about this big.
Okay.
Um, I that seems to be as much a focus as anything. Um, he's just in there with a big barrel of alcohol.
Yeah, I think yeah, while I could probably stealth, I have a feeling that dive bombing is probably going to be my best bet at that point. Yeah, okay. I can do this. Yeah. Um you can tell Ree she can yell at me later, but get clear because once I dispel magic on that fucker, I'll try to get it for you to study. I can't promise, because I'd rather make the undead be splat.
Yeah, for sure.
And if I get splatted, I don't know what happens to this thing.
Yeah, don't get splatted.
Yeah, because I don't think it's gonna matter to anybody what happens after I get if I get splattered.
Remy will be madder if you get splatted.
No,
We don't
because if
want
this
Remy
thing
that
blows
mad.
up, it's a second shattering. She'll be dead. Then again, I suppose she can be pissed off with me in the celestial plane. Anyway, yeah. So, Rylan, I don't know if Rylan wants to teleport or just like leave. Up to you guys.
I mean,
I'm going to take Ryland's hand farther down to start going.
oh, yeah, we should let's just start going. We'll hear we'll hear when the ceiling caves in, and if we have to, we have to. I've got snaps.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a little less than 5 minutes. There is a certain amount of noise once, like, you get to a couple of minutes. Um, a lot of it does sound like rattle crunch. And because monks are scary fast, especially when they have a flying speed, you get caught up with. I could not get the statue. He had a fucking crossbow. He was a distinctly bad shot. But we're not going to have to worry
Been
about that
drinking a
cave
lot.
anymore, so thanks for that. Because if I just started doing that, he would have had more opportunities with the crossbow, which I probably didn't want to give him. So, seriously,
Agreed.
thank you.
Mhm.
And now we can just go straight to yelling at me. Great.
I think Remy's more of the
Yeah,
disapproving type than
yeah,
the yelling.
it's more of the she will. Last time anything like this happened, it was pulling me aside and going, "Look, I get it, but I
You'll
came
get a
back in one
stern
piece,
talking to.
so I came back in one piece, so maybe it'll be okay." And I'm mostly joking, to be honest.
Mhm.
The yelling might have, or the glaring might have been if you turned back up without me, so yay for movement
Probably.
speed.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, about 10 minutes later, 10-15 minutes or so, when people are probably starting to get a little bit concerned. Actually, perception check from Remy, Ava, Barnabas, Hazel. The ones what stayed behind is what I'm saying. Uh, why was they're close enough to the same that Barnabas notices nothing.
Natural
The
20.
last skill
Hi,
check I did
Ava.
was at disadvantage, and I forgot to turn it off.
Yes, but they're still close enough that Barnabas notices nothing. Remy and Hazel heard a sort of a, "Did you hear rumbling?" Yeah, that sounds like that. You vaguely remember from that time when you were underground in Avernus. That kind of sounded like a cave in. A ways from here, but that kind of sounded like a cave in.
I don't like that noise.
Remy steps outside.
Well, given that this was like 10 minutes in, everything outside looks fine, and the noise is not repeated.
Uh, so you all wait outside for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and within the 10-minute period, these three come back looking entirely fine.
What happened?
I may have squished a small regiment, actually no, fairly large regiment of undead.
Huh.
Can we have this conversation inside?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
leave.
and enter this lot. Yeah, so
What
there
did
was
you do, and why did it sound like a cave-in?
because there was a
Because it
cave in.
was. It was
Uh,
it was a cave-in, in fact.
Deliberate in point of fact. And you should be glad of it because the cave in was directly on a regiment of undead.
Okay, question. How
Potential answer.
many of those undead were, mashed together out of
No,
several?
I mean, Clarity could probably tell you more, but the ones I saw were mostly just probably they were like the scouts that were sent. The ones I saw looked like some of them at least had been eviscerated. And
Yeah,
for
the
clarity, yeah,
visceral.
you saw more of them, and from what you could see, none of them were mashed together monstrosities. They were just animated dead, or would be animated if somebody was telling them what to do, because they were just standing there.
They were
Milling
just
about in their
standing there,
default
but
mode.
there was no innards. So those baskets of innards probably came from them. And yeah, they were ready for some sort of action and just sort of waiting. There was one living person, there was a dwarf who was drinking on the job. So that should teach everyone a lesson about drinking on the job.
A lot of
That
undead, even if they
just-
weren't like
Yeah.
mashed together chemosh flavored monstrosities and
Yeah,
pure
what were they waiting
blasphemy.
for? Is my
Probably to attack
concern.
here.
Probably.
Yeah, that's the
Mhm.
obvious bit. I'm trying to sort out if we are running into the same sort of flesh golem and hardcore zombie using individuals like we did. I believe it was in Grey's Inn. What I do remember is that I was in Grey's Inn where we encountered Chemosh worshippers who would come to the surface and unleashed a few undead tangles.
Yeah, thankfully not so much as far as we could see. Um, Clarity can tell you more, but apparently there was a and I didn't get close to it either. I got close enough to the statue she was talking about to dispel the magic on it, at which point the standing zombies weren't so much standing anymore. But I still didn't want to leave them just in case somebody could come back and animate them again. So, a few instances of thunder wave, shatter, and a fairly good flying speed, and I just kind of caved the place in.
Oh
Yeah.
boy! So they had a
That's
thing
fair.
that was in. They had like
It
a
was a
relic or something
focus.
that was
Yes.
expanding their ability.
Okay,
Let
Colin.
Clarity speak.
Colin. There was a statue about yay big, and it was very ugly, dark wood or stone, lots of limbs, way too many for someone to be using properly. Yeah, and she vaguely shapes and then thinks about it, and then no, vague shaping in the air is probably more indicative than my drawing of said statue.
Anything that's tripping a religion knowledge or something I can make a religion check on.
I mean, you can make a religion check, but
Yeah. Duh! Fuck!
Natural 20. 2 in a row.
weirdly enough, that doesn't sound like Chemosh worshippers. That feels like something new. Or possibly very, very old. It's like, are there people out there like literally worshipping the soul taint? Beyond the people in the oh dear, if the people in the Sutherlands are worshipping it, why wouldn't other people?
Uh-oh. We've got
What?
Sultan worshippers. So they're just using it as a forgiven value. Thankfully, they're just using this thing as a relic to amplify your basic animation things
I
for
don't think
undead
I don't think it was
nonsense.
amplification. It was doing the animating.
Yeah, sorry. Phrasing. I'm not precise. You know this. Let me try and
Yes,
get all the
that's
words out.
sorry. That's why I'm trying to get precision, so you're not as frustrated at the end of it.
Now I'm more frustrated.
Okay, sorry.
Was this dwarf did it look like a cultist?
No.
Mercenary. Did not
Huh.
want to do their job, just
Gave Carter
to be
vibes.
there.
I mean, you
Dumbass
take
handling things
shitty
he shouldn't be.
jobs. You take shitty jobs, you win shitty prizes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Carter had low standards, but
When we got to him, we had to take a relic off him, and then he crumbled to dust.
yes. But
So,
still
given
seems
what Hazel's
strange.
saying, that gives me even more Carter vibes.
I suppose.
If they're using something that's like they're using a thing to cast the spell and then you hit it, you dispelled it, right?
Yeah.
You deactivated.
Yeah. And then
And it was sustaining them enough that it was outright like full on animating because this is me barely remembering most of this, but I think the spell that blasphemers tend to use works as like a constant source of energy just by itself. Like they stay animated even if you turn off the source, they just stop being controllable. And that's the scary part. If you turn off the control, they go everywhere.
Well, in this case, I turned off the magic and they fell into little heaps. Like dead
I
bodies
am
are supposed to.
very glad that that's how that worked,
That's a
because
relief.
the other option is worse. The other option is worse. The other option is worse.
Yeah, Hazel, I get it, but either way, I was gonna drop the cavern on them. From, like, up,
Doubly
so they
glad you
weren't
did
gonna get me. The mercenary dwarf was a shit shot with a crossbow, by the way.
that.
We
You,
need to get these people out of here once they're fed and rested.
How and where? This is
Yeah.
poker territory.
What about the magic door to Hearthhome?
Which point Peter's like, I'm sorry, are you telling us to leave?
They found a concerning number of undead
But they said they
down a
dropped a
ways.
cavern on it.
Yeah, but we don't know if there isn't something else further in.
We don't know who sent them there, who's directing them, and whoever that is very likely still out there, much less a monster.
I don't think you understand. Let me explain. Our families are still mining out there.
All right. There's a good chance something else is going to come down here again.
Well, you're adventurers and you're going further in there. Won't you
we're
at
trying to
least be
root
able
that
to
out.
figure out what it is? And if you're coming back through anyway, send warnings?
Hopefully.
We'll certainly try.
And, sure is, look. One of us can teleport. And has been here now. And Darwin is too, but yeah. Yes, thank you, sorry. Yeah, it's okay, it's a new one for me too. It's not the only way we won't provide a warning of some kind, because I can also do sendings, so can Alisei. We will get warnings of some kind to you, even if it's just a sending before our our unfortunate demise, which is unlikely for a bunch of chuckle fucks. Frankly, we're all as a unit surprisingly competent. I mean, 3 people just dropped a cavern on a regiment of undead and alright, particularly crappy mercenary, but still.
Yeah, there's a mm, I got gifted a new spell by Paylor, not like new whole cloth, but another thing I can do. And it's kind of the it's a sunburst. It's what I was on about back when we first started. I walk in the sun and the sun burns all evil, and now I very much can just bring the sun to the party. And if it as since 3 of us already can bring the cavern down on them, between that uh Remy existing in their vicinity being destructive, and here comes the sun.
Alisei is like,
We're gonna do something about this, right?
I'm more or less made of sun. Just saying. At which point,
Yeah.
Shuri is like, Rylan, sorry, I'm just remembering now. And now that there's a quiet moment, you were going to summon Jefferson for me. Pulls out notepad. And a pen of some sort, but instead of a feather quill, it's got a crystal on one end.
And as I'm doing it, I'm just kind of eyeing the pen.
I mean, Clarity, I'm assuming, is doing so as well. Both of you make me perception checks.
Hmm.
Or Arcana if Clarity wants to.
Oops, hold on. Turn up the advantage.
How many points is that?
24.
For Rylan,
3.
it's making patterns and glyphs up and down that crystal as she's writing. For clarity, that thing is analyzing the magic, the spell.
Ooh.
Fades too fast for you to be able to read it fully, or maybe it's some kind of shorthand that Cherie knows that you don't. But that has to be what it's doing. It's analyzing spell frequencies and putting it into a way that can be understood by another kind of magic practitioner. Because obviously, Rylan, their magic is innate, and Cherie learns hers, but obviously, shared spells happen. Right. I think that about covers it. Anyone who is not of a nervous disposition and wants to see if I can cast a new spell, come with me.
Clarity runs over with pen in one hand and notebook in the other.
Mhm.
Artemis heads over, just like, yeah.
Yeah, we'll follow.
Yeah, see what happens.
Looking at this. Right, so that would be given what we've already had. Ogun, please lack Zme. And behind her, literal shadow dragon.
Oh,
Ooh.
Appears like Jefferson. Points head to thankfully not in front of anybody block of cavern that Shuri indicates, and the damn thing breathes fire.
How in the ever living spork did you translate an inherent ability that Rylan has to just make a shadow thing into a spell that does that?
How does it breathe fire?
The
Hmm,
energies that allow Rylan to do that originate in the Shadowfell. So basically, what they're doing is they're pulling concentrated energy out of the Shadowfell and shaping it.
Right. Right.
So I figured out how that siphoning was happening, and I cannot do that more than once per day because that is a drain.
But you can do it at all.
That's amazing.
I wouldn't have been able to without you. It's apparently fairly new. I'm going to. Well, that's something else that can unlock something at the Silver Vault, I suppose. The academies in both Agraf and Belarus are going to want me to do lectures now. Glorious. But thank you for that. What?
I'm just in disbelief. In a positive way for once.
Well, couldn't have done it without you. Pats on the shoulder and heads back in. Darwin, you're going to share cupcakes with refugees. Oh, yeah. And we're at around about the break time, so let's get everyone some food, and when you come back in a few minutes after break, we'll discuss how next to proceed, and if anybody wants to attempt to talk people who have lived down here pretty much all their lives to going somewhere else. And we're back at the inn in what the people underground in Eun-Bac call Attack Town, because apparently it's been attacked that much lately. which is probably part of why they're a little bit blasé about this. Although Cherie turns around to Hazel and I mean, I understand why the adults probably don't want to go anywhere when their families are mining. I understand this, but I'm wondering how many of these children are now without families.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you should explain Hearthhome to these individuals to see if some of them might at least want some of the children to be there.
Yep, here we go. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I even begin to word this because I'm
Well, I mean, it's generally it's
beyond just literally bluntly saying where I'm from is essentially an orphanage,
yeah,
but
well, I mean, in your case for Hazel, Hazel is self-aware enough now to know that it's not so much that her blurting stuff is not so much the problem. It's finding the person who will understand when she blurts things, and the best person is probably the individual who's been manning the stew pot and is currently producing something that smells almost but not entirely unlike coffee.
I'm just going to. Oh god, that's basically acting as almost a homing beacon, or at least it's going to be a homing beacon for clarity. So I'm
Well,
going to
that's the
just
thing. It's trying to be coffee, but it's almost entirely unlike coffee. It's it's that sort of it's the kind of thing that they drank in the old South when they couldn't get coffee.
wait. Are we veering into like the Turkish coffee situation or
No,
something else entirely?
no, this is like I think it's chicory or something similar.
Just move over, move over, move over. That's that's not coffee, is it?
No, it's a sort of a root. It's we're not sure what it looks like up there, but down here it doesn't taste great, but it wakes you up and it's warm. And hands a mug of it in Hazel's general direction.
I am taking it, but I'm not going to immediately try any of it because I know how badly I'll start vibrating if I do.
Don't worry, that's the weaker stuff. That's just for something warm.
Yeah, speaking of warm things and warm places, I'm really bad at wording this, but the kids, how many of them are still have their families at this point?
Most of them. It's only Grace and Marlon that their families are no longer with us. The other ones at least have grandparents, and the grandparents will not be shooed out of here, even pried out of here with pry bars.
Ugh.
They wouldn't know what to do with up. Remember, most of the people who live here, they've never seen outside.
Yeah, I know. It's just
I understand you want to see people safe, but in answer to your actual question, is Grayson points to the points to the little half elven girl who's like sort of checking bandages and checking to see if everybody is doing okay, and
earlier I
Marlon,
would love that one.
a little bit older, maybe 8 or 9. This one's straight up human and seems to be mostly amusing himself drawing on the wall with charcoal. It's very much in the clarity stick figure sort of range, but he's like 7, so
So, okay. I know you've all like been here forever, but had how much have you heard about Baronsvere?
that they're uh, backwoods and run by nobility, and they don't like anybody. That's why you guys are
That's
kind of
been
surprised.
changing a lot as of late, and be completely honest, where I'm from is sort of turning into the ambier of over there.
That's the place where they sometimes get the food on. When we have special occasions, it's the good rations from Amber usually.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all we know.
Yeah, and well, my family is less directly blood related and more mom and mama taking in all the war orphans and everyone else who's lost a home. So, well, we have a place to go for any of the ones who have lost people.
Well, you'd have to ask them, but who are your mothers?
Uh, Twillian Miranda Hearthheart, formerly Twillet Quick Flight
No, it's
and
the hearth.
Rhea.
It's the hearth heart we know. Um, although that uh, there was a Twila. They came adventuring. They came through Gragvir actually.
Ah, yeah,
I
mom and
think they were
mama kind
just.
of were everywhere.
I think they were scouting out something about going on a tour before they decided where they wanted to do adventures. I think they were deciding on mercenary work.
And after that, they wound up deciding to take in war orphans after, being mercenaries in a conflict.
Well, you would have to ask Grace and Marlin. I mean, any of ours, any of the people here would be happy to take them in, but you would have to ask any of if you thought any of the little ones wanted to go. You would have to ask them.
Ah,
It's okay. Kids are usually pretty good with blunt.
yeah, well, a lot of people aren't, and that's always kind of the bugbear.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of kids. They don't usually have the words either.
Well, I guess nothing to do but give it a try, so.
Well, you and Grace seem to get along.
Yeah, that one's picking up medical techniques really fast.
Well, we've had things happening, so I think she doesn't like it when people are wandering around bleeding. She says it's not healthy.
Aw.
Okay, sorry, that is adorable and hilarious.
It really is.
I call dibs. And I'm going to thank the guy and thank the stew pot individual and go
Laurent, by the way.
Laurent. Yeah,
And
I'm gonna
yeah,
thank Laurent.
Grace is apparently now taking a bit of a breather. Although her breather does involve doing the same kind of stitch work as you did on what appears to be a plushy owlbear. It just not anywhere near the detail that yours is.
Okay, that is adorable,
I don't
and
really
you're
know
quite good
what
at
it.
that.
I don't really know what it is.
That what the plushie is?
Yes,
That's an owl bear.
I know kind of from bears, but what's an owl?
A bird with feathers that are completely quiet when it flies.
Neat.
Also is but while it's flying is quiet, the noises it can make are the opposite of quiet. It's something like a
Wait, so all owls make the same sound?
a lot of them make that sound and about 70 or so variations on that. Everything from that noise to screeching to they can be very loud. And then an owl bear, as you can probably tell by the plushie, is what happened is, is a thing that seems to be made out of bear and owl just smushed together. I don't know how.
Points at Michigan. Like that?
Bit like this fuzzy goofus, and I'm just going to lift Michigan out of the bag.
Probably
Hello.
very confused.
Yeah, this is Michigan. He's a church griffin.
What's a griffin and what's a church?
Well,
She's so
church
cute.
type of shrine.
Well, no, actually, in this case, churches don't really exist. Church is the name of the person who first designed them.
Though it's though though it's like though it is the in this situation it's the name of the person who first designed this fuzzy goober.
Delicious? I don't think I'm very tasty.
Oh.
I have a cupcake. Your cupcake. Breaks it in half.
Oh, she's so
Thank
cute.
you. Nyumph. Munch,
Oh,
munch.
good, you remembered your manners.
Delicious.
Yeah, we get it.
Because, yeah, that doesn't look like owl or bear.
This guy is not an owl bear, or even close to that. Griffins are a different kind of critter mashup.
So what critters?
In his case, because he's specifically a church griffin, front end is all crow, and the back end is I don't remember what kind of cat, but a lot of cat.
Yeah, literally just house cat. Just house cat. Just void cat. Out of
Just
character.
some kind of cat, and fur happens to be the same color as as raven and crow feather, so
Neat.
solid little black mass that happens to also be a bafflingly good channel for omens for some reason.
Well, if head is as empty as stomach, then probably there's a lot of space.
It seems about right. I have to ask, if we deal with the situation that's basically forced everybody in here. Yeah. Do you have anywhere to go?
Well, Peter and Laurent have been looking after me.
Well, I wanted to offer where I grew up as a possibility, because I kind of grew up in a place that takes in anyone who's lost people.
Wait, so up?
Up, yep,
Like with sky?
with Sky.
And we're not just gonna fall into the sky.
You're not going to fall into the sky.
Well, I don't know. I was born down here.
Well, I can 100% assure you that I certainly didn't fall into the sky. I spent a lot of time when I was about your age stuck in a tower, so even further up.
Yeah, but you had a roof.
Yeah, but still not essentially, it's still further up.
Yeah, but
And
the sky can't reach and yoink you.
not gonna do that. Paylor for one would start yelling no and set fire to anything trying to do that.
That's the other thing. Isn't it really bright?
Incredibly, but it can also be cloudy and not so bright.
Do you get used to the bright?
Yeah, by and large, it's how a lot of the food up top gets grown. You have to have the bright because that's how plants grow. I
And
know down here it's all mushrooms, but
not just mushrooms, there's lichens and some roots.
oh right, the moss.
And some roots.
Yeah, the big honkin' roots often from above.
Yeah, some of them are okay.
Yeah, and when you pull them up from the other end, some of the ones up top are real interesting. I'm trying to remember if we have any of the like what were the what was the veg assortment that got brought in for the
It was basically stew vegetables. So there was carrot, there was turnip, there was parsnip.
I'm going to go find if there's any remaining ones and just
You have no idea how much your family loaded you with produce.
yeah, so it's just okay, that's good gods, that carrot's the size of a bread loaf. Okay, I'm gonna use this thing. Okay, this and look from where I'm from. Have you heard of the kind of food that comes out of Ambir?
I got an apple for my birthday.
Yeah, where I'm from is kind of rapidly turning into that because we have even our carrots are kind of supersizing. Look at this thing.
Peter once said it's not the size, it's what you do with it. And then Lauren said that you should be careful what he says around little pitchers have big ears. What?
Sorry, that phrase can mean a lot of things all at once. And one of the things that was being said was probably one of the many alternate ones. I don't know which one off the top, but there's layers, like a cake, to that phrase.
That look says does not know cake.
Oh, oh no.
What?
You've never had a cake before.
Little cup cake, half of one.
Quite similar.
This doesn't have layers. Has filling, but no layers.
Yeah, the kinds of there's a lot of baked goods. The best person to ask about the sheer variety, right over there, the one in all the armor. In case of hilarity, that one grew up in a bakery.
And that's where things get baked.
Mm-hmm. Stuff like cupcakes get made there.
Well, I have a lot of questions then, but as far as the being up places, as long as Laurent and Peter wouldn't miss me too much.
Oh, would you like to go and ask?
I think you should ask because it doesn't feel nice to say, I should go away now. Besides, I want to ask about the baked.
Gotcha. Yep.
And yeah, Remy is then approached by 5.5-year-old half elf, asking basically, what are all the baked goods?
I
We'll
set an
start
ambush. Oh,
explaining that.
child.
Yeah, she'll start explaining one by one.
Yeah, and it not doesn't have a notebook, but is paying very much attention.
Just
She's
like
so
hyper focused. Oh
adorable.
god.
Yeah, pretty
I love
much.
her.
I'm gonna go find the other kid.
Marlin sort of looks up as you approach and being like, "Yeah, hi."
This just to remind just to remember right. This is the kid who's doing all the doodles, right?
Yes.
Greetings, young Captain Doodles. What, you're good at it.
That look is. This has nothing to do with what you want to talk to me about. Why are
No,
you
but
trying?
it's certainly
Well, no,
a way to say hello.
yeah, the look morphs slightly into stop blowing smoke up my ass and tell me why you're here. I have had a hard day.
Oh.
Well, okay. Guys, I still have the carrot. I wanted to offer you somewhere to go if you don't have anywhere else.
Why?
Because down here is already pretty dangerous, and we're worried it's going to get more dangerous before it gets better. And it's also I also kind of am this. I make the offer when and where I can, because if it weren't for where I was raised in a frankly similar way for similar reasons, I wouldn't be me. And I want to give
Gives me a
everyone else,
different
anyone
view.
who I'd certainly be worse off if he's stuck in a tower or dead.
Well, I don't think you'd be you if you were dead.
Exactly. But yeah, I kind of just want to give people the opportunities if I can,
But why would anybody there want me?
because that's kind of how my family rolls. If someone needs a home, we're glad to offer.
And since Grampy got squished, I kind of live here.
Well,
I guess I could live someplace else as long as nobody was going to worry about me.
is there anyone who's been looking after you? Because I'm happy to assure them that you would be taken care of.
Points at Laurent. Mostly them. Me and
Good God,
Grace.
Laurent is just.
Me and Grace. Well, when we didn't have any place, Laurent was just saying, well, they at least need feeding.
Yeah,
So we stay
that's
here.
got a good head on. It's a good head on their shoulders there.
And this isn't how it was supposed to go. I was supposed to get bigger and then be mining.
Sometimes, sometimes Istus decides to redirect where people are going, and always in the weirdest, sometimes most yikes ways possible.
Well, I don't like Istis. If Istis
Yeah, it
squished
takes a
my
while.
Grampy,
I don't think Istus did that specifically, but every time Istus pokes the block tower one way, other bits of the block tower start doing other things.
Hazel, from your religious study, it's more that yeah, the bad thing happened. That wasn't because of Istis. Istis just arranged for you guys to be here now, so that wasn't so this kid had a different opportunity.
Plus, it's more like. Plus, it's more even than that. Something like Istis made sure that we'd be here so that you had a chance besides just this.
Is there stuff to
Because,
draw on besides walls?
a lot. A lot to draw on besides walls.
Will they get mad if I forget and draw on walls anyway?
Not even remotely. I was terrified that they'd get mad at me for basically everything, but, nobody did.
And it's gonna be Sky.
Yes, there's going to be sky, and no, the sky won't try to, like, you won't fall into the sky.
I'm more afraid of the sun setting me on fire, but okay.
I can also say for a fact that you won't burst into flame on contact with the sun. That I happen to know quite well about that, in fact. I'm just going to hold up my Paler amulet.
Oh, you mean not real contact with the sun? Because I think if you actually touch the sun, you isn't sun just like fire?
It's a lot of things, and fire is certainly one thing it can
So if you
be.
actually touched the sun, you would be on fire.
Well, yes, when I say contact with the sun, I mean contact with the light coming from it and the warmth.
Yeah, see? Specificity. You think it's supposed to be specificity coming out of this kid, but not happening.
I'm just going to let him have that one. I mean, you're right. Details are important.
At which point adds kind of two little triangles, one on either side of the head of one of the. It's clear it's supposed to be your bow.
Yeah, Mom and Mama actually gave me this thing.
Okay.
Yeah. They're the ones that kind of decided we're going to give every kid who's ever lost somebody an opportunity to live somewhere nice, and
And they're gonna be okay with you like turning up with kids.
more than
And how are we
I know
gonna
for a fact.
how are we gonna get there?
Let's just say I have a magic door, or at least a way to make a door magic. So that when you walk through it, you're just there.
Is that like the door the lady
Connects
with the
that
wings?
door,
Is that like the door with where the lady with the wings came through?
a bit like that. Yeah, the her door goes to somewhere very specific to a house that she can ascend that is elsewhere, like the inside of a giant house.
Which point gets at Miss Lady with the wings. What? I don't have enough words for the house. Come in and have a tour, I guess. Come on.
Have fun in this surreal estate.
I'll explain, kid. Come on.
Yeah,
Grace, unfortunately, is not to be distracted by surreal estates and is listening to the explanations about cakes.
just
Because
sent her to ambush Remy.
well,
And
it's the thing about the layers. She's trying to figure out how the layers happen.
He wants to know all the things.
Well, she wants to know about.
and looping back around to Laurent.
I take it you've spoken to them now.
I think I was successful. I may or may not have gotten Remy ambushed by a child determined to learn everything there is to know about baked goods, but I worked.
You see, we were going to get her her first birthday cake when she turned 6, but well, there you go. Cherie looks over at
Uh,
us. Am I doing ascending to your mother's?
I beg you, please, yes.
I mean, Alice would have asked if she hadn't been ambushed by another one of your little ones.
Oh, well, I mentioned magic doors, and that started an entire direction of discussion.
And piping from over there. So how did they get the chocolate in the cookies? I don't understand. Why doesn't it melt? Barnabas, who probably
There's
actually
also that
kind of,
happening.
uh, Barnabas, who actually probably kind of knows why the chocolate doesn't melt, is potentially wanting to get involved because I figure Remy just is like it just doesn't.
These kids are so cute.
A little bit, but he also more is just enjoying Remy flummoxed.
That's fair.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alice is busy elsewhere now. She would have helped, but she got ambushed.
Yeah, after that little conversation, we're just gonna loop back around to clarity.
How'd it go?
Pretty sodding well. You might have the opportunity in the future to teach someone more drawing skills.
Me teaching drawing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
your style is unique to you. Therefore, worth
That's
teaching.
true. I don't think I should be teaching anyone drawing.
Babe, darling. I think you'd make a great teacher regardless.
Aw.
Thank you. I would be encouraging, but I would not give that child any practical skills whatsoever.
Well, Hazel can actually point out the drawings, so Clarity would know what she's working with.
Well,
Look, he's on a level with me already. I mean, that's some of comparable to some of my best work. I should ask him to draw some kobolds and we can compare.
that could be what's next on the list of things to do while we're waiting. And making sure everyone's, secured, situated in bed before we go mallet some undead back into the ground where they're supposed to be. Like,
Sounds
into
good.
it properly, and because I know we're in the ground, but
Well, to be fair, you don't know if there's any more undead, and the undead you saw previously are now buried under several tons of rock.
yep. But I'm always of the thought that if there's one blasphemous nonsense engine making zombies, there's going to be about a dozen more, and I'm going to make them see the sun loudly.
Yes, eventually, you get to. Grace is still asking all the questions. Marlin is beyond questions after the surreal estate, and Cherie is. I've contacted your mothers. They will be ready to see two young ones to baths and bed.
Za. Alrighty. Let's see about getting another door going.
Well, our front door has a keyhole if you need.
Perfect. All right.
But you're gonna
I'm
have
gonna
to
go
get.
to each
I
of the
think
kids
you're
and make
gonna
sure they
have
have
to
their
get
stuff
Grace.
collected. Hmm?
I think you're gonna have to get Grace.
Yep. First, gonna make sure. Sorry, the kid who gets stun locked by
Marlin.
the. Say again.
Marlin.
Marlin. Gonna make sure Marlin's got his stuff.
Yeah, the look you get is what stuff. I have a stick of charcoal kind of thing. Because remember,
Oh
the
boy.
houses are squished.
Mhm.
I was just hoping they had any amount of things besides what they're wearing and one object.
No, they were happy with their one object and their lives.
What little guy?
Yep. Understandable. Still, it's just oof. Anyway, going to head over to where Remy is still being quizzed. I see you're absorbing an entire library's worth of baking knowledge out of Remy.
I mean, I know the kinds there are. I could know more. But a lot of the
Oh.
questions are uh, answered with you'd probably need to talk to someone who baked recently.
Really, Remy?
There was also I think she had a hard time explaining bananas. I don't understand bananas.
Well, there's probably going to be at least a few, given the amount of. I am still carrying this carrot.
The bananas will be easier to explain with
Remy,
the.
take the carrot.
Okay.
I just yeah, that's the other thing. You can make cakes out of carrots and breads out of bananas.
Yep. Well, you put them in the baking.
How does that fit into a cake?
No.
It's one of many ingredients.
Yeah, but it's half as big as me.
You have to cut it to pieces like anyone else cuts anything up for other stuff being
Oh,
foodified.
okay. No, nobody said anything about the. Okay. See? You should lead with that.
Alrighty. Got anything you want to? Got anything at all you want to make sure you take with you?
Bear.
Owlbear.
No, that's his
All
name.
right, we
Bear.
have a door to get.
No, that's his name. Bear.
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 I didn't know what else to name him.
Perfect. That is a perfect name. You're gonna love Noop when you meet Noop. I named Noop by saying Noop. It's a cat.
Marlon
Very
is like,
large, fuzzy thing.
and that is that anything like why you? Okay, I understood calling the big moose legs, but the displacer beast. How is that a woofles? He was an
That's
incredibly
something you have to
adorable.
ask Shure.
He was an incredibly adorable kitten. And when he was snuffling around his new surroundings, that was sort of the noise. Woof, 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 woof. Okay.
Introducing Key. This is where the fun begins, because we've already announced you're heading over. Key in. Just pulling enough to key in.
Yep.
And door, and then crackle of arcane energy and push door and just.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Where is it going?
Remember, it works that way for 6 seconds, so it's ushering the kids back in, and Skylar is actually standing at the door and hands you a small towel wrapped parcel and another thing wrapped more in a bit of cloth than anything else. Just boom.
Thank
And-
you.
and
And here's
you-
them.
And you hear, "Hi, I'm Skylar," and click.
That's an adventure waiting to happen. Okay, who are these for? What do I see any labels?
The largish towel wrapped thing is not labeled. The little bit wrapped in a piece of cloth is apparently for clarity.
Motor. Just handing clarity to the thing. And picking up the other thing and sniffing at it.
It smells like maple and walnuts.
Oh boy.
It's maple walnut bread, not maple walnut cake.
Yeah, I figured it was them. Just set that down somewhere and. Well, Probably gonna bring it over to near Laurent when I do this, and just open the whole thing. Behold, maple walnut bread.
I think you all should keep that. I don't know if we know what to do with it.
Yeah, well, this is a lot.
Sure he is. Well, if we wanted to trade them some of our less extravagant baked goods, I could make Bella Race toast with this for breakfast.
Yes, that 100%.
I will go bake them some bread for bread bowls for the next stew.
Thank you.
What Clarity has is they're a little awkward, so it's clear they're not Xana's work, but leather fingerless gloves with sort of a mitten cap on them with fur, very soft rabbit fur lining on the inside. Clearly, Candor made these to go with your earmuffs. Is the card?
She puts them on.
That's
Makes
adorable.
duck faces. We both.
Cherie, at which point is talks to Alice for a second, and when Alice comes back to join you guys, it's okay. So, we still need to check on our transportation individual, because apparently we still got a little ways to go to get to the Cragveer border. Because we probably don't have the time to walk, and we could probably protect him if he needs it.
Yeah.
But like, I just want viewpoints on how we proceed from here. Because obviously we've found some of the stuff that's going on, and it's encroaching past the border.
Yeah, there's blasphemy was already intense, and now apparently they have it leaking.
Well, more like they're seeding it from the sounds of things, and whatever it is we did with the tunnel collapse, sure, spectral dragon's probably not going to be able to get through there, but we also didn't find out where it originally came from. And I don't know if it's going to be back. I'm wondering if standing a watch tonight would be an idea. Especially if they're
Probably
still kids.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea.
And I don't think we're going to be able to just squeeze into the jerky bags and be small while we're going.
Mm.
I'm unfortunately kind of fresh out of ideas.
Okay, this is more of a Remy and Barnabas thing, so if you guys want to roll, honestly, it's straight up intelligence, I think. Because it's more the tactical stuff on...
That was
That's a save.
Sorry, I keep doing that.
That's okay. The thing I'm saving at that point is your butt.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, no.
The gods say, you will have a 12. and you will like it.
Apparently.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it's apparently Remy who was more proactive, shall we say, when she I mean, she started young, so she was doing the more of the guard a wagon train kind of roles, whereas Barnabas turned up with experience, so that he wasn't stuck with that kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's largely going to be if you're going to be traveling in potentially hostile territory. It's going to be the people with who can do ranged particularly well. Although Ava's going to have a problem because she does not see as well in the dark as most of the rest of you. So either you need to light it, which would make you need light, which would make the place a beacon, and your carrier will not be happy, um, or leave it with. I mean, Clarity has a crossbow. Rylan has spells, and of course also Clarity can throw knives. Hazel has a crossbow somewhere. And Alizé, there isn't a
Yeah.
weapon that you found that she can't use.
Yeah, I have a light crossbow. I just tend to default to uh range spells.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's thankfully a lot of the people who do see in the dark do have either ranged spells or ranged abilities of some kind. And if they start doing that kind of thing, that's when you say fuck it, you switch on the lights, you let Ava fire. But yeah, it's mostly going to be the best watches will probably be kept by those who not only can see in the dark, but also have some ranged capabilities to be able to start the attacking as they're warning people. But beyond that, speed will probably be the best defense, just on the basis of course, a lot's going to depend on if there's any wider points in the road, because most of what you traveled along along that the first time was just wide enough to fit you guys. Um, you haven't seen a map of your route, so you don't know if there's any spots that are, any spots that are open, any. You know that sometimes things underground are weird, so are there any, like, trestle bridges that, you have to cross because there's an underground river of some kind? Beyond keep the ranged people who can see in the dark with the lookout, you need more information before you can make a real plan of attack. For Barnabas, it's, well, I'm not going to be a whole lot of good spotting if we're traveling because I can't see shit in the dark.
Yep.
That's about where he is.
We're going to be relying mostly on people who can attack at range. Unfortunately, Ava can't see in the dark, but we can't risk a light.
Well, if those of us who can see in the dark and can do anything range see things, that's when we say, fuck it, there's already danger and light things up for her.
Yeah, good point.
Anything else we need to know about protecting a moving caravan?
Mostly just vigilance. Taking shifts on who's especially keeping watch, because after a while, your eyes get tired, you stop paying attention, especially in the dark, where even with dark vision, there's only so far you can see.
Yeah, it's always weird to be in a place that's dark enough that my vision goes out to a certain space and then just kind of fades into zilch.
Yeah, believe me, I know that one. And since this part got missed, it's Barnabas who might be able to think, I'd know more if I knew more the route we were looking at, the lay of the land. Are there bridges? Are there wide places?
Yeah. Do we know the route we're traveling? Because that's a big deal about guarding stuff. If it's all tight corridors, I don't know how we We need to know if there's any choke points or good ambush points along the route. Is there like a map or anything?
That's a good point.
It's a good question.
Well, I don't know, but I'd assume possibly the innkeep. I'd imagine Peter more because he goes out more often, or the gentleman who's been hauling the bits and pieces. They might know. So
All right.
perhaps someone should ask them.
Not to try.
Hmm.
Remy, this is from Alice A. The guy who's been pulling this whole wagon train thing. You've probably seen him better than any of the rest of us, so he might not take it as poorly if you go and talk to him. And Barnabas, you seem to know the questions to ask. Ask Peter.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll start with Remy. And mostly it's the building that this individual's in is kind of like a barn, so mostly it's just because he's not worried about rain. He's just sort of flumped, kind of like lying down, chin on folded arms. Oh, hello.
Hello?
Mostly people don't come to talk to me. Why are you coming to talk to me?
I wanted to get an idea of the route we're heading. It's what we should expect, so that we can do a better job protecting the caravan.
Okay, I have not had so much to think about this. There is mostly is just enough for me sized. So there's not a lot of people who can attack from the sides. Cloakers are the only problem from above. Those little buggers
Hmm.
get everywhere. Uh, about an hour after we come through here, there is lake. We go over that on bridge. Used to be covered bridge, is not covered bridge anymore. Nobody has an answer for why. And there is two more towns where things obviously they get wider before we reach the border town. The border town is, by the way, at the moment mostly abandoned except for the Golem band.
Hmm.
They don't want people to be there anymore because, I mean, you see this. So on the border is worse. But we still have to defend the border, so that is probably going to be the most problematic places. Also,
I have a feeling,
we had to stop at the towns because I have to drop off.
of course, I just have a feeling we'll be threatened by more than just cloakers.
Well, we shouldn't have any problem in Boomtown.
I think that'll be good for a rest.
Something along those lines. It's just depending on if anything is attacking. It's not so much the attacking, it's the repelling gets loud. They took some of their weaponry from Egrev and they have cannons.
Huh.
We hope they don't have to use them very often because we are worried about the integrity of the tunnel. But it's probably better to have problems with the tunnel than an ankeg trying to eat you.
Yes. That is a very good way to put it. All right. Thank you.
Barnabas, meantime, is approaching Peter, apparently. Hello?
How's it going?
You have a question.
Yes. Is there any kind of like maps or anything with the route that we're traveling? I'm trying to see if there'd be decent spots for us to get ambushed.
Well, I mean, uh, I'm assuming decent spots means where it will happen, not that you want them to happen. I honestly
Right.
don't
Yeah.
know all that much about the routes, but I have heard something about there was a covered bridge over a lake about an hour out. It doesn't have a
Okay.
cover anymore. So there's something apparently living in the lake, probably, or above the lake, but cloakers don't tend to do that. So something is going on with the lake. We used to be able to fish there. We are not supposed to fish there anymore. That's why we haven't had
Oh.
fish in a while.
Ah. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Okay.
Yes, unfortunately, Toff, he went out. He liked the fishing. He was one of the older gentlefolks. And
Hmm.
he didn't come back from the fishing. We found about half of his pole,
Okay.
and we decided we weren't going to do that anymore.
Okay. And that's definitely going to be a problem spot. Okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
But beyond that, I don't know all that much, and we don't tend to keep maps too much, mostly because reading isn't a thing here. We don't do
Uh,
lights enough for most of that. It is saddening to Laurent. He spends a lot of wages on candles. I like my books.
okay. Well, thank you for the help. I appreciate it.
It is not a problem. You have brought food things. We will be eating well for a while, and our little orphans now have a place to go. And
Hmm.
apparently, the one that you keep looking at like she is the most gorgeous thing in all creation is apparently coming to us with bread.
Yeah, she's good like that.
In which
And
case,
they get to see when Barnabas walks away, they get to see, and once again, the "That's my lady" strut.
yeah, and you
Hmm.
you you encounter Remy at about that point coming back.
They
Yeah,
say
not bad
anything
back.
about they say anything about the lake and the bridge with the ripped off cover?
Yeah, said that I think you said that had been a recent occurrence.
Yeah, well, they're also apparently not allowed. They don't fish there anymore because the last person who did, they only ever found half of their fishing rod. That's going to be an issue, if not an ambush, for sure.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna have to expect things beyond cloakers.
Yeah.
In
Well,
addition
now.
to the cloakers.
Hmm.
Well, maybe if we're lucky, some of the in addition ate the cloakers.
That's
That
certainly
would be
possible.
nice.
Until we get there, I guess.
Did we get anything else?
That's about all I got. Remy?
Most of the path is narrow tunnel, so at least on those parts we don't have to worry about being ambushed from the distance. It'll just be the possibility of cloakers from above. And there's a few
Or
towns along the way, and some of them have been attacked lately.
or they could block off from front, or possibly come overtake from behind somehow.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah, probably good to keep an eye up, not just for cloakers, but for. Because remember, caves aren't just on a flat
Mm.
plain.
Mm.
What
Yeah.
might seem as a pothole could very well just be another tunnel someplace. And so,
Mhm.
how do you know about holes in the ceiling if they don't go straight up to the surface? But did they say anything specifically about the towns, just so we know what we're after or what we're up against? Or I mean, you said we could be attacked in some of them, but do we know if any of them have been, already and what they're doing about it? Are we gonna trip over Attack Town again?
One of the towns apparently has cannons from Agrif. But as
Cannons.
long as we don't look like Ankegs when we're getting close, we should be safe. That we might want to summon a light as we're getting close so they know that we're not monsters.
Well, they might. I mean, to be fair, if we're on a timetable, it might not be. Hi, Pim Pim. It might not be such an issue. but I think we'll leave that to our driver.
Mhm.
So we don't have to worry so much about attacks as we do a weak cavern wall structure if they fired those things.
Mhm.
Note to self, do not do what I did to the zombie cavern unless absolutely necessary. Hey,
Yeah.
some of us can teleport. It's okay. Yeah, anyway. So, potential lake monster, potential ambush points, potential cave in because of Yahoos using cannons underground, and then the border?
Mhm.
Is there a town on the border?
Yes.
You sound unsure.
I'm pretty sure he said there was a town on the border.
Yes, it's the one with the
Must be
golems.
about
I thought Remy was sounding unsure because
No,
can
that
you really
was
call it a town if no one is living there? It just has golems.
that's a good point too.
Yeah, so that's the sort of
Apparently,
thing.
it's has and hasn't been abandoned. They're using golems to hold back attacks on the border, but it's too dangerous for anyone to actually live there.
I guess he didn't say what kind of golem.
No.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting because there's a lot of different kinds of golems, at least as far as I've
Yeah.
ever heard. I mean, just about any material you can name up to and including flesh.
Uh,
Mm.
I mean, come on, what's the difference between that and an animated dead? It's just lots of different bodies sewn into a body.
I think you've explained right there what's the difference.
That is Chemosh nonsense. That is a blasphemy of the highest order.
But, like, it could be useful as a foundational science thing. Like, if somebody lost their hand, with the kind of healing magics we have, couldn't we, like, sew another hand on and have it work?
I thought there was magic to regenerate.
Well, I mean, there is, but it takes an awfully long time.
Hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, just sticking it back on probably only works in a few select cases, sort of a miracle basis.
Yeah, but if you can make things live as sewn together things, then surely that science should foundationally be a way to graft limbs back onto a living person. I mean,
You'd
depending.
think people who tend to veer into flesh sculpting and Shamash worship would share that knowledge, but unfortunately, they have a habit of just using it as a way to staple spikes to shambling horrors and then throwing those at people.
Well, then that just means we need to attack the stronghold of a Shamash worshipper, kill everybody and everything in it, grab their notes, and give them to the people in Agrav.
yeah, well, add that to the list.
That sounds like a recipe for either causing more of them or causing something more unhinged, but the alternative is the other possibility is good stuff coming out of it, so we kind of have to roll with it.
Well, that's when we just ask Calitel who would be the best person to give this information to. Or we ask Professor August because she would probably know.
And suddenly I have this terrifying mental image of somebody asking Alana to lecture about
Oh god.
that sort of thing. Because I remember the Mr. Bones.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's completely different, but yeah.
And knowing And if half the stories are true, she zombified or otherwise resurrected skeletons of things that were a lot more than just that.
Well, yeah, but in the case of anything sentient, they signed waivers.
I remember that part. I'm just terrified at the notion of she would explain that, and then the conversation would veer into, and this one time I revived a Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, that's another thing, because when we're talking about golems, they don't always have to be humanoid shaped, you know.
Yeah, it is possible
Oh
to
boy.
convert enough mass into yikes. 'Cause Rylan, you remember the thing with the giant near liquid spike?
Those were bone spikes, actually.
Well, the bone spike, and then the thing it was attached to was a blob. So that's either
Yeah.
way, bone spike, blob thing, yikes. You remember that, right?
Given they're grabbing their shoulder, I'd assume yes.
Demonstrably so. Yeah, sorry, the Nix's name got in the way on the display.
Yeah, that's why I don't have you guys' names on the display.
Hmm.
No, mine unfortunately just does that automatically. I have no control.
I
If my
think
mouse is in a certain place, it just brings up all of the names at the same time. Like I have no way of determining.
interesting,
There
because
is a
I have
setting, I
I
think.
have a way to just switch it
Wild.
off entirely. Anyway,
But yeah, uh,
no,
Life
I
may
as
I
they've
remember.
demonstrated, they have ways of just adding more stuff and making it less human-shaped and more amorphous. Yikes, engine.
well, I was
No.
thinking more kind of like reanimated bones, but with more sapience behind it. I'm sure he is. Ah, yes. This is one of the ways that the Egref and Belarus academies compete every year.
What?
There is the most interesting golem competition.
Of course there
Oh
is.
no. I just remember enough about Agraf to already be worried about the stuff from that end. Now I'm wondering what in the everywhere Ambir golems are like.
Ambient not so much. This is Egref and Belarus. They have their magical academies.
Yeah.
Egref got No, sorry, Belarus got disqualified 5 years ago because one of their teams came across a dragon skeleton and made a dragon bone golem, which got them disqualified, and nobody understood why until possibly now because the governor's judge.
Ah.
That would explain it.
So that
Yeah.
was oh boy, they so somebody did the equivalent of grave robbery.
And apparently the descendants disapproved, yes.
Yeah, and suddenly I'm just like 5 times more glad that Alana started that whole legal waiver thing. Was it
She
her that started or did it start before her?
It started before her. Apparently she's been signing waivers and asking for extensions on Mr. Bones in particular since before she became immortal.
So whoa, back up. So that skeleton's 500 years old.
At
More than
minimum,
that.
probably a bit more than that. But it's very well preserved because she likes Mr. Bones.
Yeah, That just, I don't think I'm ever getting over the fact that one, Mobius twins are real, and two, that they're both several flavors of actively bonkers in their own unique ways.
Right, we desperately need to wind down. We've had a bit of a day, so we're going to go in. I'm going to provide a hot chocolate and starchies, and then we are going to have an early night.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, starchies are just they're neat. They're little. Apparently, they can literally only be stirred with the handle of a wooden spoon, just because of the very fine flour that they're made out of. And they're just these little half globe fluffy things, which uh, you can dip in the hot chocolate, by the way. So, very light on the stomach, nearly meringue sort of cookie, and an early night because we are at about that time. And hopefully, we will have the entire group in 2 weeks' time when you will take on the rest of the trip to the borders of Cragveer. And either way, you're probably going to have to deal with what's in that fucking lake. So I will see you in
Yep.
2 weeks.
Bye.